What? All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and we're back talking about a car that isn't mine. I know you guys like talking about these records and things that get broken from time to time. And honestly, I think this one is pretty notable because I absolutely was not expecting to see a pretty much full street trim BMW M4 go to the track, break all of the records, and then drive home without apologizing or saying anything. It was just one of the craziest things I've seen. Granted, in this time with everything developing so quickly, it's not that uncommon. We see a lot of cars getting built all the way up, turned into race cars and achieving really good results. And then a year or two later, you see a car with a much more simple setup achieve the same performance. So it is what it is. That's just kind of the nature of things. But this was honestly completely out of left field for me. I was not expecting this at all. So I thought it would be cool to talk about it in this video. We'll give more details on the car, its setup, as well as the times it was able to achieve. And, you guys can kind of let me know your thoughts. So hopefully you guys find this video useful.
Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future.
So first things first, I learned that Pure Drivetrain Solutions has a YouTube channel, so definitely go check them out if you guys are interested. That's probably one of the better places to pay attention to if you guys want to keep up with the development on this car, since it is their shop car and something that they're using for their development. And they post a lot of other cars as well that are using their product. So definitely follow their social media. I will have all of it linked down in the video description. But that being said, again, this M4 is a development car for the owner of Pure Drivetrain Solutions. I haven't really been paying attention to it. He posts it up every once in a while, but he's never really shared everything about the car. He's never shared full details of the setup that I've seen. Not a lot of times are posted on his page. He just kind of posts it from time to time. But he definitely did highlight that this is a development car, so they're able to put their products on it, test different combinations of things to make sure everything's working the way it should, so that when they're selling you a product, they give you the best product they can. So pretty cool to see that they have a car that they can test everything on and do all of the development with that matches what most people are trying to build. So I think this car has gone through a couple different setups, but in its current form, they've listed out the full build sheet. So it has a Visconti Stage X Plus engine, which is, fully built out, top and bottom end. It has the Pure catalog, so a Pure Stage 3 transmission, a Pure billet converter, as well as a Pure transfer case. And then, of course, it's running a precision turbo, but it's one I'm not too familiar with, a 73.9R. I did look it up, and kind of like the name suggests, it has a 73.9 millimeter compressor housing, so somewhere between the typical 7275 or 7480 you might see on other builds. Now, the turbo is rated for 1450 horsepower, so that kind of gives you an idea of what the turbo could be capable of, although a lot of these precision turbos make more power than they're rated for, so just keep that in mind. Now, this car was built by Insomnia Motorsports, so it has the Insomnia fuel system. It also has the CSF intake manifold, as well as their cooling package, and it's tuned on Ecutech with Motive Reflex, supporting a lot of the fuel upgrades and things like that. So from that side of things, pretty typical setup. Then it's also got, upgrades to support all of the power. So it's got upgraded axles from Drive Shaft Shop. And it is running a drag pack, although if you look at it, you can see the car still has stock brakes. So no small brakes here, no tiny wheels. It's running probably a 19-inch front and rear wheel package with a Mickey Thompson to make it a little bit stickier on the launch. Also, as I said, the car is full interior. It looks like a full street trim car. There's a little bit of weight reduction. You can see it has a carbon fiber trunk, and also it looks like they removed the cat back, so it's just running like an open dump downpipe. But regardless, mostly street trim. They can put the cat back on pretty easily at this setup, and driving around with 3 people in the car to get to the track just kind of shows you it is really a street car. They also highlighted that it has no icebox and no nitrous, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Again, when you're kind of documenting everything as a street car, you don't want something that you necessarily need to swap out or replace stuff between every single pass. An icebox is going to increase the capability of your car a lot, But if I'm doing a bunch of pulls on the highway, it's gonna basically melt all the ice and I'm gonna have to pull over and refill it. If it's a nitrous bottle, you gotta wait for it to heat up, or potentially you could run out. So it just adds a lot of other variables. Whereas with this setup, it's pretty much exactly what you would get. You could be cruising down the highway and hit it, and you'll get full power every single time. So with all that out of the way, let's talk about the numbers. And they did post the first video initially sharing that it had broken the dyno record. But when you open the video up, it ended up just being a troll. They said the dyno numbers don't matter, quarter mile numbers matter, and the next video would share those. So no dyno numbers revealed. Again, we kind of know what the turbo is capable of, but it's probably making a lot more than that. So then the more recent video, you can see 3 guys hop into the car and drive a couple hours to Maple Grove Raceway. They did a couple passes and then were able to achieve this.
762 180. Let's go. 762 180.
So on their last run, they ran a 7.62 at 180 miles an hour. You can also see some of the other times on the slip. So the 60 foot was a 1.3. And then to the 8th mile, they ran a 4.97 at 149 miles an hour. So under 8 seconds to the quarter, under 5 seconds to the 8th. Incredible times for a car that has comfort seats with heating and radio and everything on the inside. Really incredible. You can also see that they had a screenshot of their Dragy that posted some of their other times. So the 0 to 60 was a 1.6. The 60 to 130 was a 2.29. And that means the 0 to 130 was a 3.9. So yet again, another car that goes 0 to 130 in almost half the time of my 60 to 130. Just crazy results. I can't imagine what that would feel like in the car. And also they did add a point of reference for people in Europe, you know, everybody that uses kilometers per hour. It ran a 1.97, 100 to 200. So under 2 seconds there as well. Now, as far as I can tell, this has broken all of the records. I mean, it's the fastest S58. It's faster than the B58s. Some people might even start to say the S58 is better than the B58. I don't know. Some people might be saying that. But again, regardless, it's just incredible to see the performance this car was capable of. Now, again, being an R&D car, they mentioned that one of the reasons they went to this private rental was so that they could test out a new converter combo on the car, as well as a dump valve setup. So they were trying to get all of that working. And it seemed like it was working on the leave, but unfortunately it sounds like the dump valve caused it to short shift at the top end of the track. And you can see on the Dragy, it kind of slowed down. So it looks like basically they were on the brakes. So they're going to be working through that to figure out what they can do to get the car to finish the pass with full power, which means they should be able to run faster. So we'll stay tuned for that. They think it's primarily associated with the transmission tuning. So it sounds like they might be moving to a standalone transmission controller, which would be pretty interesting to see. So yeah, you know, more should be coming in the future. Again, follow all their social media channels. Hopefully they'll be posting more about this car as it gets faster and faster to show the true capability of their setup. And I'd definitely be interested to see what they can do with a fully standalone custom transmission tune. So stick around for that. I'll try to keep you guys updated, but follow them for the latest and greatest information. Otherwise, I think that's it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.